Hello, everybody, and thank you for being here. I have 20 minutes to do this, so we'll get started. Well, Sierra Metals has a history. It's a copper producer. We are based in Mexico and Peru. And before I start, I just want to say that Sierra Metals has been for sale for quite a few years. It didn't get sold, and I came in, and my team came in last year only, in January. And we came in not to sell the company, but to run and operate the deposits and the two operations that we have now. So with that background, we had three operations. Cusi is a small silver mine. We never were able to get it to a cash flow positive scenario, so we shut it down. It's in current maintenance now, and we are in a divestment process with this one. Bolivar and Yauricocha, two world-class assets, and I'm going to show you why and what we have been doing in Sierra Metals. A little bit more background. In 2022, this company was having a lot of problems with banks. The three mines were flooded, $80 million in debt, and no cash in the banks. So those were very rough times. Like I said, we came in January 2023 to turn around this company. A few highlights of what we have been accomplishing in the last year. Bolivar was running at 2,000 tons per day when we found it. We are not magicians. How did we took it up to 5,000 tons? We just made some ventilation shafts that were needed in the mine. We made the pumping systems a lot better. And just to tell you what was happening there, in a 12-hour shift, workers were only working 3-4 hours a day on that shift. The rest of the time, they had to wait till the fumes settled or dewatering the stove or stuff like that. So doing those things of ventilation and pumping, we were able to take them to work 10.5 hours out of a 12-hour shift, which is normal. That's why we were able to ramp it up to 5,000 tons. We have been with this throughput for the last 8 months, and this is how it's going to continue doing so. Our share price last year increased by 210%. We started going to the market, going to road shows in August of last year. We wanted to tell the market and show the market what we had done, not just offer what we were planning on doing. So this rise on the share price is just from October, November, and December last year. Our debt is no longer an issue. Last year, we ended up with around $60 million in EBITDA. 2022, we only had $13 million in EBITDA. Our bank debt now is $75 million. So we are almost 1-to-1 in our debt, EBITDA debt ratio. So it's not an issue anymore. The banks were very supportive last year with our plans, and they are still supporting us, refinancing this debt to a 5-year term loan with 30% at the end on a balloon payment, etc. In October last year, we wanted to show also the market that shareholders were trusting the company again, the management, the new management team. So we made private equity financing. 10% of these proceeds, $16 million, just to show the market that things were going on the right track, and investors, shareholders were supportive of us. 10% of this equity financing came from us, from the CEO, the management. All the VPs and most of the managers in Sierra Metals now have a portion of the company. We are all shareholders as well. I'll tell you a little bit about the 1120 permit, and something that we didn't have, and it's been a while since we didn't have, was an NI 43-101. In the next few weeks, you will be posting a press release with a new 43-101, which tells the market very much what we've been saying, but now we have an NI 43-101 that is proving this. Last year, these are our 4 pillars. Last year, we have been dealing with the first 2 pillars. Take these 2 operations back on track, and safety, health, environment, and communities. This first pillar is a non-negotiable for me. The only thing I don't like about mining, especially underground mining, is safety. It's dangerous to mine. So these are non-negotiables, and we all understand it like that, and our company doesn't ask if they can do it. If it's on these subjects, they just do it. Operational excellence, now we have the mines right on track where they should be. Something that I should have said is that I have 7 direct reports. They are all new to the company. And the operations teams in both mines are also new. I'm talking about the C-level, the top management team. Not because the previous ones were not ideal, but for me, it's much easier to bring people that have the same way of thinking than you do than to try and change the mindset of people over 40. That takes time, money. We didn't have the time or the money. So now, a small portion of the team, me included, are more on the organic and inorganic growth in these third and fourth pillar. Let me talk a little bit about Yauricocha. Yauricocha is a 3,600 ton per day mill through capacity. Yauricocha has been producing for the last 75 years. Look at the amount of resources that we have. Measured and indicated 14. Then NI 43-101 is going to show that this is not much different than what you're going to see in the next few weeks. If you divide, 10 million tons divided by 1.2 million tons a year of throughput, you can see that we have in measured and indicated, and I can tell you in reserves, more than 7 years of reserves. Having said that, which is a very good news, we have been mining in the last 3 years, at 2,000 ton per day, 2,200 ton per day. Why? There is a red dotted line here. We didn't have a permit to mine below the red dotted line, the level 1120. We just didn't have the permit. Don't ask me why, we didn't have it. 95% of those resources you saw on the previous slide come from down here, and it's just a continuation of the deposit. Up there, up in the upper part of the 1120 level, we have very little mineral left, cut and fill methods, scatter mineral, high in grade, but expensive to mine. Down there, we have the big ore bodies. And something that we did right on the previous years is we had the permit to drill. So we drilled this like Swiss cheese. That's why we know we have all those tons below the level 1120. In February 21st this year, we got the permit to mine below the 1120. So by Q4 of this year, we'll have Yauricocha again at 3,600 tons. And this is a very profitable mine. When we were mining at that rate, we produced around 75 million pounds of copper. Look at the cost, 211 in 2020. Then we start running out of mineral. 2022 was a terrible year, high cost. We have been able last year to maintain it at 40 million, all-in sustaining cost around 356. This year is going to be almost the same because it's a preparation. We are developing the mine below 1120 level. By 2025, or wait till Q4 and just those results, multiply them by 4 so you can see a full year, will be again like the 2020 year, around 75 million pounds of copper equivalent with an all-in sustaining cost of around $2. So, and with that, last year we produced, we were able to get $20 million out of EBITDA. With the production that it's coming, we are easily going to be in the $60-70 million EBITDA. So this is Yauricocha. Bolivar, you can see the green colors. I mean, everywhere we drill, we find copper. This is a young mine for Sierra Metals. This is the one we were able to take to 5,000 tons per day. Look at the amount of measure and indicator resources we have here. Again, immense for an underground mine. We have 6-7 years of life in reserves, again, in this mine. So, and we're gonna continue operating this mine at 5,000 tons until we build a new tailings dam. Once we build a new tailings dam, we'll go to 7,500. We're investing right now in doing underground development, 8,000 meters in underground development, so we can take this mine in a couple of years to 7,500 tons per day with the new tailings dam. At this rate, I'm gonna go over this one. At this rate, Bolivar produced for us $40 million in EBITDA, with a 21 of Yauricocha, 62. I don't know what prices are gonna be, but if they continue to be the same and with a little bit more production this year, we'll probably be in the 70s, 80s. In this number, the 46 down there, Cusi lost $10 million last year, and that's why we shut it down. Now it's only costing us $1.5 million a year to maintain it. So good numbers are coming ahead. The net debt to EBITDA ratio is not an issue anymore. This year is gonna be less than an issue. And in 2025, I'm sure I can say this will be over the $100 million EBITDA numbers. So what's next? Now we have great teams operating our two mines. We have a great team of VPs supporting these two operations. We need to grow. Two operations, profitable, nice run. It's still small for this business, as you all know. So how do we grow? Well, organically and inorganically. Organically, I already told you, Bolivar, take it to 7,500. Yauricocha, get it back where it was, 3,600 tons. In Mexico, we have 7 projects, some of them already drilled, permitted, in the Chihuahua area, most of them, Durango as well. We don't have the money for greenfields, so we are looking for JV partners to JV these projects. And in Peru, we do have a big porphyry right beside our underground mine of Yauricocha. Here we do need a big brother. As you all know, porphyries require a lot of drilling, a lot of money, time. So we have already 3 NDAs signed. Hopefully in the next few months we can have a contract already signed with one of these 3 major companies. So that's Mexico and Peru greenfields. Inorganically, we are looking for an opportunity for an M&A. We need to grow our company, and the only way of doing so right now, as we see it, is with a third operation, close to production, in production. We have been proven to be a team that turns around companies, operations. We are operators. We don't know how to sell a company. We know how to operate a company, and that's what we do. I come from the operation side of the business all my life. So, and where? Well, primarily Peru. Mexico, I think it's going to be hard, although Mexico, it is friendly to existing operations, not to new ones, but existing operations. It's very friendly. We have no issues in Mexico. And the rest of the Americas. We have a lot of experience, although I have worked in Australia, Ghana, and South Africa, but our team is very well experienced in the Americas. Look, year 21, our share price was at 487. If you look those months and those years, remember, we had Cusi, the small silver mine, losing money for us. We had Bolivar at this time not producing money. We were developing. And Yauricocha at full throttle. Yauricocha was doing good. In 2025, or by the end of this year, well, Cusi is out of business. We're not losing money anymore. Bolivar is not in a developing mode anymore. Bolivar is producing money for us, and it's treating 5,000 tons a day. probably this year we'll produce $50 million EBITDA. And by Q4 this year, we'll have Yauricocha again at full production. So you can, I mean, do the math, simple math there, but I mean, I still buy shares every time I can. When I joined the company in January last year, I asked the board to give me my full pay in shares. They didn't want to do so, but I still see this as a great opportunity. We're investors, the management team in this company, and a little bit of our corporate and capital structure. We're worth less than $200 million Canadian. Last year we were worth 60. So there is more to come in Sierra Metals. Thank you for your attention and happy to take any questions.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, absolutely. The immediate question over there, so I'll take that gentleman.
Thank you. Good presentation. I've been off the file for a while, so thanks for the update. I don't understand, is the debt situation still having a hold on you in terms of what you can spend money on? And why don't you just get rid of that? And if it is, and because there's not a lot in terms of net debt, I understand that ratio to EBITDA, but still seems to be having a hold on you. And number two is that are you going to recapitalize the company beyond this to be able to do your inorganic growth and look for that? And when you're going to be able to sell the asset, which is up for sale?
Sell the asset?
Yeah, the one that you talked about that is shut down.
Oh, Cusi. Okay,
yeah.
3 questions. The first one, debt. Debt is not an issue for us anymore. The banks are refinancing the $75 million outstanding debt right now, 5-year term loan, 30% balloon payment, year 5, and the first year it's going to be a holiday period. We have shown them, and they believe what we are doing is the right thing to do. And we are producing cash right now. We last year, 2023, $60 million in EBITDA. This year is going to be a little bit more than that. And by 2025, we'll be over the $100 million EBITDA, spending only probably 45 in CapEx. So debt is not an issue for us anymore, and it's not an issue for the banks. The third question was Cusi. Cusi, we have been signing NDAs for Cusi. We just finished, or this week, we're going to sign an agreement, a binding document, and maybe we'll be out of Cusi in the next few weeks. If not, it's not an issue for us to keep Cusi. It's only costing us $1.5 million a year to maintain it as is. So it's a project, it's a mine, 1,000-ton mill capacity. We're keeping it intact. We have tailings capacity, and the deposit is there. They need to put exploration money into Cusi. We don't have that money. And the second question was, sorry?
Yes, the question I didn't ask was that, is your shareholder base
Yes.
changed? Because with charts like that, a lot of people are going to be getting out at the break-even of some sort. So how much overhang of the shares are there?
Our share base is very much the same as it was before. Major shareholder, that was ARC Fund, has diluted himself because they didn't put any money in the private placement. That private placement of $16 million diluted almost 22% everyone that didn't participate in that. So that's the only thing that happened with our share
ARC
base.
is still there?
Arias is still here.
Okay.
He has I haven't met him in 15 months, never.
Okay.
I've talked to him twice. I invited him for the private placements. He didn't participate as well. And now I think he owns 18%. 4% he owns. The other 14, it's the fund. He controls.
Okay, I think we're quite tight for time. So, Ernesto, are you available if anyone else wants to ask you a question? Can they get you outside?
Sure. I'll be out there, and thank you very much for listening.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Ernesto Balarezo. Thank you very much, Ernesto. Thank you. Not at all.